Do you ever wish you could speak and even think in another language with ease? Of course you have. But learning another
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check. Check 1 2. Check 3 4. Check 5 6 7 8. Welcome to the Daily Study Group. My name is Miguel Coronado. You can find my work www.mciii.net. I'm on the Crimson Tigers Group forum. It has Mike086. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/iiimciii. Today we're going to draw feet. I'm drawing from the ImagineFX How to Draw and Paint Anatomy. I forgot to turn off my headphone monitor. Headphone monitor off. There we go. We're going to be drawing from the How to Draw and Paint Anatomy book. Today's feet, it's pretty complicated as far as like the stuff I'm going to have to draw out for you. There's lots of just notes in this section. So we've been breaking everything up into 2 days so far because it takes about that much time to cover everything. So I'm about to get started. I'm just reading through the articles myself because if you're just joining me and if you're watching this video on YouTube later, these studies are my own personal studies I would do on or not on live stream. So this is my hour to look through this book and read and draw. What I'm going to do is read a little bit to you. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I'm not going to like create an audiobook illegally. It's not what I'm doing. But we're drawing the feet. There's a little preface saying, you know, they're the ugly cousins of the hands. Most artists have a hard time drawing the feet, or they just don't want to draw the feet. They dread drawing the feet because they're bony and have little marks and tendons that protrude from the flesh. It's just a different thing. But today I'm going to spend some time on the feet. There's some cool stuff I'm just learning from the get-go. Zoom in here. Feet. So let's get going. good news, everyone. Some really good news. I will be able to read the chat without scrolling to my other screen, because there's an application called what's it called? Oops. Air Display. And Air Display allows me to use my iPad as a second monitor for $10. Well, I guess not $10. The cost of the iPad is the the real price. So, for less than the price of 2 screens, ooh, my computer's lagging a lot. This might be a pain. So there is... Okay, here we go. It just had some time to like... I just had to get the computer back into work mode. Still lagging a little bit. But it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, just for this stream it won't be bad. Okay, let me draw this first thing out. It's pretty cool. I didn't know this. Other people probably didn't know this. If you did know it, cool. Let's draw out a face. Just a general face shape. Probably more round. If that's the brow. The top of the head would be like up here. Really sketchy. Oh, it looks like my signal just dropped out. I don't know if people can hear me or not. Oh, it came back. Okay. I've got the live stream opened up on my iPad, which I'm pretty sure is causing this strange lag. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. I'll set it to grayscale. Discard. Oh yeah. Much faster. Okay. We'll work in grayscale today, for the sake of not taxing my machine. Okay. Oof. So the only thing about this dual screen that I'm doing with my iPad is that it affects like I'm noticing that it affects the control I have with my Wacom. It like speeds up the Wacom movement. I guess because you're supposed to be able to go from screen to screen, but it's definitely affecting how my Wacom interacts with the computer. So yeah, it's going a little slower. It's not... It's not like it normally is. Anyway, just really quickly, first thing that I thought was cool that I'm seeing in here is that the foot is as long as the skull is tall. The footprint. So when you're drawing the footprint, I don't really know how you cross-check that, but imagine the skull on the ground next to it. Basically. Okay. Anyway. Footprint is as long as the skull is tall. And if we call this the hairline, This is the nose. So if this is the hairline, then the hand is as tall as from the chin to the hairline. So anyway, I thought that was a cool tidbit. People might have already known that, but I don't think I've ever like looked at it that way. I know that the hand's roughly the size of the face, but to say the hairline specifically is more information that helps me. If any of y'all are in the Crimson Daggers, or just, well, I guess anyone that's in here, Forrest Ishmael has posted his Kickstarter. I thought it was with his brother, so I erroneously wrote down he was doing it with his brother, but he's not doing it with his brother, he's doing it with like his friend. Unless his brother and he have different last names. But anyway, they're starting their own Kickstarter for like a free computer game. It'd be like a free monster fighting game called, what's it called? Primal Hero. And it's actually pretty cool. It's got like this caricature of Dan Warren and Dave Raposa as two of the characters in the game. So it's looks pretty funny, but then like the actual game itself looks cool. And it's free. It'll be free once they make it, so if you support the game now, you're supporting a free game. And Forrest is doing all the artwork for it. Like everything visual involved in that game is him. So he's called the art director, but he's one of those low-budget art directors. A low-budget art director. That means he's doing everything, because I've been there. I have been there. I was a production designer, which meant I was a concept artist, storyboard artist, costume designer, anything that wasn't a camera guy or an actor. Okay, so what I'm drawing now is a kind of like a footprint in perspective. And basically, when you want to draw the foot on the ground and make it look really grounded, start by drawing the footprint, and then you build up from there. If you don't know where to place the foot, like if you know where you want your guy standing, draw his feet first, and then you go in and build off the foot from the footprint. When I say feet, I meant to say footprint. So you start with the footprint, build up from there, the foot of your character. If that's what you need to do to get started on your character, then that's what you need to do. And the way he starts it out, he pretty much takes that shape, extrudes it. If you don't know what extruding is, it's kind of like a 3D term actually. Or I guess not a 3D term, it's like a Play-Doh term. Anything with, well, I guess it's 3D. Whenever you extrude, it's like when you're pushing something and pulling an item into a shape. In terms of like clay, you like extrude it from this a device that looks like a syringe, and you can make clay tubes, or like, what do you call it? You could have like a die and make cylinders, or not cylinders, but like prisms. But anyway, in terms of 3D, extruding is when you have your 2D object and then you pull or push the 2D object into a third dimension. Or I guess technically it's like a 2.5 dimension. But I'm just going to draw straight over. It's going to be a little confusing at first, but just bear with me. This is like, it's just a quick diagram he drew of the foot and like how to work with it from this point. This kind of goes into a point here. Oh man, I feel like my hand's off or something. Okay. And then this would be like the side of the foot, right? Let's start here. And then like he drew it like a transition, so it shaded here. It transitions up. And then likewise this area is shaded. Anyway, hello people. Let me know if the stream glitches. Sweet. So now, that's awesome. I have a dual screen now. If you're just joining me, there's an app for the iPad that allows you to make it a dual screen with your computer. Yeah, that's pretty cool. If you have an iPad or a tablet, you can turn it into a dual screen. Why is my computer not letting me draw? Okay. Now it's letting me draw. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. Begin with the ground plane to work out the correct perspective of the shot. Some quick notes. Boots and shoes usually cover the feet, but I recommend that you start with the foot without cover over it. So there's a proper scale of the foot size to figure before the distortions created by the shoe designs. Feet are sometimes drawn oversized for weighting or stylistic reasons, but I would still draw the foot bare before covering it with a big shoe design, so that the foot relates back to the scale of the rest of the character. Oh, started with the scale. Okay, anyway, sorry, I misread that. Toes are bulbous at the end, which means they're rounded like a bubble, but squish flat when pressed against the surface. When this happens, the toe mass spreads out a bit from under the toe's actual size, usually joining the toes together. Usually joining the toes when they come together. If this is the case, don't draw the lines between the toes, just draw. This is a visual effect of spreading. Right, he's got a little foot diagram here. This is a foot, a leg, not a foot. And he's just showing off like the spreading of the toes. The spreading of the toes, Clarice. Anyway. So what I'm probably going to do, as I horribly draw this out, well, first I'm going to put the magazine down so I can get a better posture, because I'm just failing at my strokes right now. What I'm probably going to do is draw a few of the diagrams today, and draw like the notes section out tomorrow when we do part 2 of the feet, because well, frankly, because there's a lot of stuff for me to write out, and I actually got to absorb it all, so I want to take my time. If I go over today on the study, it's okay, but I don't want to go over too much because I have to draw stuff. So I will be staying on the stream after I save this out, and just drawing some vampires for as long as I can until I have to go to bed. So this isn't entirely exact, but hello Helix. Hey Helix, I was going to ask you something. Are you free on, when do you work? Like, we should meet up and say hello. But more specifically, tomorrow night there's a weekly sketch night here in Austin, and if you're not crazy and annoying, you should come. I checked out your profile. You don't look like an 18-year-old kid that's never spoken to people before. But sorry if there's anyone that's younger that's watching this an hour later. I don't have any prejudice against younger people or artists, but I've just worked with a lot of them in my past, and they can be pains because they're still kids. But anyway, that's just me coming from being a manager at a haunted house for several years and having to deal with them. But anyway, tomorrow night, 7:30, there's a sketch night. If you're in Austin, Texas, there's a sketch night, 7:30. It's at a Starbucks, but look, we can't win them all, right? We might actually... there's actually another one. Missed what you said, had to reload. I don't know when you're free or when you work, like your day job, but there's a sketch night tomorrow night that's going on, and if you're not crazy, you should come out and hang out and have some coffee and sketch. But then I went on a rant about 18-year-olds and being annoying, only because I worked with them for a while in a haunted house. Yeah, there's a sketch night tomorrow night, but I don't know if you're free or not. I'll just tell you on Facebook. It's easier that way. When he gets off. Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's at 7:30. It's at 7:30. I'll tell you on Facebook. Well, yeah, I'll tell you on Facebook. I don't want to announce it, and then if by chance later on YouTube someone in Austin that's like a child finds out, and they're gonna come, I'm just gonna ruin sketch night, and I'll be the guy that did it. I don't want to be the guy that did it. I don't want to be that guy. No worries. Cool. Anyway, it's a cool little sketch night. There's actually 2 that go on tomorrow night. Every week there's 2 that go on. And I'll tell you more on Facebook, but there's 2, or maybe I'll tell you more in person. But there's 2 that go on every night, and every night, sorry. There's 2 that go on every Wednesday night at the same time, almost a block away from each other, and it's just really funny. To me, it's really funny. Anyway, talk more about that later. If you're not in Austin, Texas, and take drawing really seriously, and you have not bothered to go out and find yourself a group of like-minded people that's local, or at least in the nearby town, then you should do it, because it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference to find people that are taking art as seriously as you are. I don't mean art school. You can't go to like just art college and do it, unless you live next to like art center. That's different. But like if it's just like a local, it's like my stream cut out. My internet down. Hello, hello. Check 1 2. I wonder how many times it does that. Check 1 2. I just saw the screen blacked out in the live stream. I don't know if it blacked out for y'all. I have it open in my window, and it looked like it dropped for a second. It came back on. Anyway. If it drops out, tell me in the chat. Okay, cool. It's probably just my shitty connection. Anyway. Yeah, if, what was I saying? If you don't live nearby, and you haven't gone out of your way to find a like-minded group of individuals that meet in your town or nearby your town, you should look for a group like that. Or you could do what I did. Well, I did this originally, then I found out there was 2 groups that were having sketch nights. You can do what I did, and you can start up your own sketch night, and find the people that are nearby that are trying to take it seriously, and then meet up at a coffee shop or someone's house, or like I don't know, even McDonald's, anywhere. Just meet up somewhere, and make it regular. So then at least you have one day out of the week where you can kind of hang out with people that are taking art as seriously as you are, and just kind of just talk about whatever. It doesn't even matter if you talk about art. You don't have to talk about art. In fact, we rarely talk about art, actually. We mainly talk about like YouTube videos and movies and books. But it made all the difference to find a group of people that were doing that versus just working at home. Anyway, or you start up your own sketch group and just meet up and make it real casual. Just make it casual and just everyone just draw whatever the hell they want. Don't set up boundaries. Don't set up contests. Don't set up like a theme unless that's really what y'all are into. But don't make it anything. Don't make it anything. Just make it a sketch night. And then people will just come and sketch. That's it. That's the best part about it. You don't have to. There's no theme of the night. There's no like thing you have to draw. Excuse me. So, okay. What it's trying to show here in this diagram, and I think I did it right. It's a little off, honestly. But, well, maybe I did. No, let's see. It's a little off, so these toes touch whenever the foot is on the ground, and the last little toe actually doesn't normally touch the ground. So if you're ever having to draw someone barefoot, that little toe doesn't actually touch. He went to the Tad figure drawing session about a year or so ago, but the clothes pretty awesome. Yeah, I think there's another one. You're the one telling me about the other ones. Where is that? AACA or something? Because I need to do some of that. I need to do some figure drawing. Figure drawing. So I need to do. I need to get some my traditional stuff on AVAA. Oh, it was close. Austin Visual Arts Association. I've driven by that place. I didn't know what it was, but I remember thinking, why don't I know what this is? $5 sessions, not bad. Oh man, this is so cool. I'm so glad I have two screens now, which means I can actually, in real time, check the chat and draw with the full screen, which is awesome. Anyway. Let's see here. What does it say? The toes behind the ball of the foot. Toe bends. The toes bend behind the ball of the foot. Not in front. Oh, okay. I see what it's kind of saying. I might simplify this diagram a bit. So, the toe bends behind the ball of the foot, not in front of it. It's not perfectly straight, but just bear with me while I'm drawing this, people. If you don't know what the hell I'm drawing, it's okay. But Okay, so here's a toe. I'll do like the toenail so y'all can kind of differentiate it. Okay, that's kind of the toe bent. The foot, sorry. And then on this side, whoop, my tablet just lagged. This is the back of the foot. And basically what it's trying to say, I mean, I don't know if my diagram is doing it as well as his, but studies. Josh came in late. What are you studying from? Studying from the Imagine Effects Anatomy book. That is the Imagine Effects Anatomy book. You could probably Google it and find it. Just type in Anatomy, Imagine Effects, Ron Lemon. But don't put a typo. What am I using as reference? I'm just drawing the diagrams out myself. So like I'm literally just drawing the illustrations in the book, and I'm going through and reading little tidbits here and there, and then I'm just working them out and explaining them out loud. I don't normally do my. If you ever watch me do a study, which most people don't ever just watch me do a study, but if you ever were to sit down with me doing a regular study, I don't normally take this long because I have to talk, think of like things to say. So it takes away a little bit from my actual intake of the study, but I'm more than ready to just be quiet on the stream and make y'all wait for me to read. So if I get real quiet, it's only because I'm reading the book, and I'm just trying to make sure I'm reading it correctly and not reading aloud or trying to interpret information the wrong way, and then people will think it's like, you know, scripture or something. I don't want that to happen. I want people just to follow along. Okay, it's basically just this section. It's just talking about how, I don't know what these arrows represent, but the toes, it says the toes bend behind the ball of the foot, not in front of it. The toes bend behind the ball of the foot, not in front of it. Be careful not to add too much details to the toes if the foot is small in the illustration. Too much rendering such a concentrated space can force the rest of the illustration towards the direction of the over-rendering. You can also push a lot of focus to the bottom of the picture the same way as underscaling the feet unless you catch a mistake early enough. The bottom of the foot has an arch that separates two pads that squish to whatever they press against, creating a straight line. The toes bend about a third of the way back behind the ball of the foot. Ah, that's what it's saying. The toes bend a third of the way back behind the ball of the foot. So the toes, the actual joint to bend is, it's kind of like here. That's kind of where the rotation is. Yeah, and then it just says little toes float. Draw the foot with straight lines. Here's a basic thing. So, I mean, I feel like people know this, but they don't know it because I know I do this sometimes. But one of the big things he's saying is that when you're drawing the foot, like, let me try and do a quick one that doesn't look too crappy. When you're drawing the foot like that, you've got like the toes here. Goes up. When you're drawing the foot like this, and maybe you give the extra toe another digit that it needs. Like, let's say this is a foot standing on the ground. And there's more here, I think. Let's say it's a foot standing on the ground. Forgive me, the proportions are off, but the point is, if this is the ground plane and that's the foot, then this is incorrect. Right? And it sounds really obvious, but like, I guess just not many people do it, really. You need to draw the foot whenever it's like a foot standing. If it's actual character standing barefoot, or I guess with any foot, really. You gotta draw the foot needs to be flat. It simply has to be flat because the skin and the muscle becomes squished against the floor, right? And then it creates a straight line from the pressure. Yep, that's right. Straight line. It's not arched, not curvy. Straight line. Not homophobic, but you need to make it straight. You get what I'm saying? Anyway. That's terrible. I know. Sorry. Forgive me. What a stupid joke. Whoa. Did anyone else see the Vance Kovacs and Justin Sweet book? Anyone else donate? I donated. I'm getting a book. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, I just wondering if anyone else did. It looks pretty freaking awesome. I watched that interview with him today. It's a cool interview. They basically just live, oh, they don't live there, but they basically just work in his Justin Sweet's mom's old house, and that's their studio. That's their studio now, where they just work together on separate projects, but they just have a space where they work together. That sounds really cool. I think that's something I'd like to do if I say if, when I get so busy that I gotta be working all the time. It might be beneficial to get a studio with another artist. That way I have like a definite workspace, definite home space. Because once you separate those two things, it allows you to focus more and then also relax better. So when you're at home, you know how to relax, and when you're at work, you know how to just work. Okay, let's see. So this is talking about relating the figure to the ground. Whether it's drawn from the head to toe or cropped, all figures have a better chance of looking convincing if they are relating to a ground plane. Everything in space is related to perspective. The figure is no exception. Once the ground plane is established... Okay, let me just say that one more time, because I think this helps me a lot, and I don't know if a lot of people know this. I mean, a lot of people do know this, but like what I'm trying to say is beginners. Uh-oh. My iPad disconnected. That's weird. Stop that. I don't know why my iPad disconnected. Please reconnect iPad. Goodness gracious. Inactive. I wanted to connect. Oh my god. iPad, connect. What's going on, iPad? Wonderful. My internet connection just dropped or something. I don't know why that happened. Anyway, okay, sorry about that. Back to what I was saying. Let me get back on track. We're talking about relating the figure to the ground plane, and basically what I said was most people don't think about it this way, but where's my... lagging a bit. Oh, lagging a bit. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to recalibrate this. Just my my iPad's not connecting properly to Wi-Fi. Whatever. Anyway, okay. Let me get back to what I'm saying. All I was saying was that this is something that helps me a lot, and lots of people that draw characters don't ever do this, but they don't consider perspective in they don't consider perspective in terms of drawing a character, and so you hear lots of people that draw characters saying things like, "Oh, I like to draw characters. Oh, I hate perspective." I'm like, "Oh, I don't like drawing landscapes because I hate perspective." But you know, you actually have to draw perspective in your character, or else your character's going to look off. Network name. Connected. Interface name of the device. Sorry guys, I'm just reconnecting this. You gotta put perspective in the figure, because if you don't put perspective in the figure, it's gonna be off. And the people that know perspective and incorporate it into the figure. Shit. Am I online now? No, I'm not online. I just knocked off my connection. Naturally. Oh my god. Oh my god. What have I done? What have I done? Oh no. What have I done? I don't know if y'all can hear me or not, but I think I just unconnected from the network. I reconnected. If only this iPad would connect so I could see what the chat looks like. Good God. Good God. Where is this? Where's my other window? I'm trying to watch the chat, people, but I can't. It's not coming up. It's just not doing it. Yeah, the study's turning into like a complete clusterfuck. There we go. Your air display connection was paused. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Is everyone back? I'm back. Forgive me. I'm just ruining things with my new iPad screen share. Okay. Let me get back onto the feet. You gotta draw your figure in perspective, and the easy way to put your figure in perspective is to start with the footprints. The footprint of the character. Whether it's drawn from the head to toe, cropped, yada yada yada, the terms of the ground or help elevate the foot correctly. Figures. I think the stream's still going on. I think it's working. I think the stream's still going on. Naturally. Christ. Somewhere up there is my window. I don't know where it is. I can't see the chat. Disconnecting. Just quit. Just quit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Terrible idea. What have I done? I've ruined everything. Okay. Oh, thank god. Alright. Okay. Sorry. Back to the study. For real this time. I won't be messing around with that new feature. Anyway. Okay. Back to the foot. Back to having to use double screens. This will be my chat over here. I'll be working over here. Okay, so shading the planes of the feet, sides and front surfaces. The ankles can be thought of as a stirrup shape. The ankles can be thought of as a stirrup shape to help relate them to one another. The inside of the ankle bone, malleus, is higher in elevation than the outside of the ankle bone. Inside of the ankle bone is higher in elevation than the outside of the ankle bone. And then got this round shape which will go down into the foot. And if this is the inside of the ankle bone is higher, then so gotta draw this right way. This would be the big toe. The rest of the toes would be lower plane. Excuse me. Sorry if it's real quiet. I mean, not real quiet, but sorry if it's really loud when I do that. Clear my throat. Um, so then he just has these shaded. I have my control back. So that just there's some downsides to that Air display app. First of all, if you don't have a good internet connection, it might drop out. Second of all, it does affect the stylus while you're working, because your computer tries to make it so that you can easily move across the same area of mouse pad, in this case Wacom pad, to get to 2 screens as you do for 1. So there's a slight change in the behavior of the stylus, which is pretty annoying, because I could lose a little bit of my control that I have. Okay, anyway, so this is higher, this is lower, and this is the stirrup shape we're talking about. Shading the planes and the sides of the front surface. Kind of what I just did. Oh, I actually drew the wrong. Whatever. I didn't draw the wrong thing. I just drew I kind of combined 2 diagrams together unknowingly, without realizing it. Let's see here. The right leg front. Heel, toes, stirrup shape, separating the foot from leg and at the ankles. The bones, low/high. Okay, so just a quick doodle of the way the bones look. In this area of the foot, these 2 bones they look kind of like this. So they create that round shape, and you see that this bone on the outside goes lower than this nodule of the bone area here on the inside. He just says that the toes are, kind of think of the toes as block-like. Block-like in terms of when you're trying to rough them out. Just keep the toes, think of them as block-like. And just remember that when they sit on the ground, they balloon out, like the muscle, little pad underneath the toes balloons out, so it would look like, it's funny drawing this out, because we all have toes and you all know what this looks like. I know what this looks like. We all know what this looks like, but the fact that that we take it apart like this and talk about it, it's funny. It's funny just because, like, we all know this, but I guess you don't really think about it, right? Like, whenever I'm drawing toes, do I actually think about the fact that the toes only do this ballooning when they're pressed down? Otherwise, they're not as bulky. Yeah, and it basically just says overlap the toes and the foot is not straight on. That, I mean, that's pretty obvious. I feel like that's more for beginner artists. But like, if you're drawing the foot at a side angle, you want to never. If you're drawing the foot at a side angle and you don't overlap the toes, you're at a different stage in your progression than your drawing skill set. This is terrible. Right here, what I just did. This is stupid. See what I just did that? Let's just look at that real quick. This is part of studying and part of me having to read while I'm studying and draw at the same time. I just drew all this stuff. This is dumb. And that U looked even dumber. I just drew all those toes in a straight line. The toes arch. They have a curve. Everyone knows that. Toes have like this curve. So the biggest toe is here, second toe is here, at the toe, last toe. Anyway. What I'm saying is, can't believe I drew that. When you're drawing the foot from the side, you got to overlap them. So, if that's the big toe, that's the second toe. This is the next toe. And that's the next toe. And that's the last one. Right? Get a general idea. This kind of goes up. Anyway, you gotta get the idea that you gotta overlap. I mean, like, if you don't do this, it looks like that. It looks like it just looks like a bunch of tubes next to each other. It's almost this, but I actually did the overlapping, so this is worse than this. Still not as good as that. But in the end, I think all these kind of suck. Anyway, so y'all know what's going through my head. To achieve a more solid dimensional form, bear in mind that the foot is a full shape with 6 sides. So, and it has this little diagram here. It says it has a foot like this, kind of like a duck foot, and then it says no, and then it has another foot that's like this, which I call this like, this is almost like the more of the Charlie Brown foot, I think. No, Charlie Brown, he had bigger feet, but it also says no. This is the wrong way, and it even has this, which most people might think is the correct way to draw it in like a quick sketch form. It says no. And then the correct way is we're breaking it up into like a prism. 6-sided prism. Kind of like a box shoe. Or if you were in if you're in Boy Scouts, or Cub Scouts, this is like a pinewood derby. The foot is a pinewood derby. Think of it like that. But it's got 6 sides. Without wheels. This doesn't have wheels. But it is 3-dimensional. So if you're trying to block out the foot and you're trying to figure out how it's going to go, it would be easier to draw a prism, and then we could kind of call it a ramp. Think of it as a ramp. Obviously not this small, but you know, that would be a better way to draw the foot. From there, we could probably add on these toes. Don't do that. Sorry. Sorry. Let me see what else it says here. Man, there's a bunch of stuff here. I'm not gonna draw this out. I'm not gonna write this out. It's like let me see if this works. Hold on a quick. Let me see if this works. Show control bar. Where's mine? Show Procaster. Ah, here we go. Oh, there you do it. Anyway, I was gonna actually just turn my webcam to show y'all, but there's like half a page of just like notes. So it basically says you start off cartoony, like if you're trying to draw the foot on the ground plane. Start off cartoony. Oh, what is that? It's like something on my Wacom tablet. Start off cartoony. And he says kind of like use a mouse shape, like the computer mouse, not like a real mouse. And then he just says get in real with the planes, low, high. So he's got like this higher plane area, then he kind of starts divoting this up for the toes. It's still flat. If it's on the ground, it's going to be flat, so it's not going to change that. Heel. Kind of break it. It's a simplified way of doing it. This stuff, I mean, like that, like starting off like a real simple cartoon and then building up. That almost feels more like one of those old, like how to draw people books. I think the real focus is this. We really need to think about these prisms, and like for me, this is gonna. I know this, like doing this. Think of it like a ramp. Thinking of the foot as a ramp is really gonna help me out. So like, let's just try. Let me put the book down. Actually, let me just close this book real quick and try to apply what I just read through real time. So I'm just gonna start a new layer and fill it with white, and then I'm going to let's say I want like, let's say like I want like a foot pointing towards me. All right, so I'm gonna kind of take what I learned and apply that in real time. Or let's like, let's think of like if you're drawing a pinup, like a girl, like let's think of like a classic pinup thing, right? So like a girl in a bathtub and her foot's pointing out towards you or something. That seems like a real pinup thing to do, right? Let me switch my modes back to RGB. Okay, there we go. So first we'll start off with, well, I'm going to start off with more of a circle because I don't want to really work from a prism. I like to work from a cylinder. And then we're going to have like, if we all know how the foot goes, it starts off higher. Remember how we had the, he did like the stirrup, and the ankle from the inside is higher than the ankle on the outside. So the ankle on the outside is going to be a little lower. And then we all know that the heel comes out a bit. And this is the ball of the foot right here. And so that means we'll have like a toe kind of right here. Toenail for reference. Putting in the toenail just because it helps give y'all an idea of what I'm seeing. And then we'll do this other toe a little further off. So when you're thinking of the toe as a three-dimensional form, you got to build it that way and apply it somehow. The last little toe is like right here. And oh, it's a little off. It's a little off. Oops. I keep forgetting to use this. Like, ah, crap. Ah, my god. Sorry, I keep forgetting to use this, instead of using the eraser tool, I keep, like, using X. Using X to switch. Kind of a horrid foot, but I've always constructed with circles though. The foot kind of sticks off more. Anyway, whatever. You know what I'm saying. That didn't really work again. that was me failing. That's what that was. Trying to recover what didn't work. Let's try it for the prism. If that's midway through the prism, let's put it up here. We got to think of it coming towards us, so it's going to get slightly bigger. I'll go ahead and start adding a little bit of a curvature. We'll add one toe, another toe, another toe, another toe, another toe. Right, and then remember how they, let's look back at our notes. Remember how we construct the toes. We're constructing them like this, like a unit, like a little circle, then it goes up and back, up, back. That's how we've been working on them. So, in application, let's see. It should square, and it's going to go up and back a bit. And for the sake of simplifying, I'm going to shade just to show like the front. So the front is shaded in this case. Then another square, up, back. It's not entirely perfect, but we understand how it's kind of working. Another toe, up, back. And like for this, for like feet, for me, like I always have to look up reference for feet and hands. There's nuances to both of those that if it's ever going to be featured prominently in a picture, I got to really look up how it's going to be featured. Because there's so many little things going on. Oh, there we go. Actually, I think that looks a lot better. It looks... Let me just make it standing. Make it easier for myself. But anyway. This is okay. This is close. I think what I would have done, I would have drawn this out in a real piece. If I ever had to draw like a woman pointing her foot towards someone, like if she's in a bathtub or something. If I were to draw that, which if you look at my portfolio, it's not likely I'm going to have to draw that anytime soon because I draw lots of dead things. But if that was okay, if I had to do like a zombie pinup and the zombie had a decrepit foot pointing towards someone from a bathtub, I would start with this and then I would double check with reference and fix it. That's not what I normally do. I do my sketch with the initial posture that I want, and then I either look up photos, or in the case of a woman's foot, I need to look up photos because my feet don't look like women's feet. But look up photos, or if it's just a generic, more of a generic pose, or like a dude or a creature, I'll pose myself in front of the photo booth camera, and I'll light myself too, because the most important part for me, the most important part of getting the reference is the lighting. Lighting over, well, right now it's both anatomy and lighting, but I'm going to keep practicing this anatomy so that I can rely more on the lighting and less on the anatomy. Anyway, so we have a ball, the foot, heel, just kind of taking some time to sketch out, kind of from what we did. I think the one thing to remember is that there's two joints that stick off from the balls of the foot. It goes kind of better. Anyway, cool. And we probably see, I guess we won't see too much of the toes. Like, I guess you'd see a little bit here if it were kind of angled up more like that. Like if this part were rotated slightly, in which case you'd probably see a little bit of that over here and a little bit of the heel on the other side. You flatten it out. But remember, if it's standing on the actual ground plane, it's going to be flat and straight, except the toes won't hang over the edge. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty good. Some good stuff here. There's a lot more. I don't know if we're going to go through the next part. Now that I've kind of read through some of the notes in it, I might move on and just come back to this stuff later, later, at a different time. Yeah, I think that's good. Let me see if my dual screen works real quick. We've already kind of gone past an hour. I know I wasted a lot of it trying to do this dual screen, but I have to try. Zombie pinup. Yeah, those are popular though. I mean, like, I know guys are just like, yeah, do zombie pinups. Like, that's like what they do. Connect, connect, connect. Ah, it's working. Ah, thank God. Now I'm going to try something out. What I'm going to do now is first I got to shrink this window. I'm going to end the stream. There we go. That's what I wanted. Yeah, we got my dual screen working again. Oops. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay, hopefully that lasts for a little bit. I'm going to end the stream so this saves out. I haven't uploaded the video from yesterday. I'm going to probably do both of the uploads tomorrow when I have a better internet connection. I might just... Oh, what am I doing? Sorry. Sorry guys, you couldn't see that because I'm on my other screen, but... Sorry, you couldn't see that I'm on my other screen. I might just, do a critique and paint over. Anyway. But I'll stop the stream and start it up again. And I normally do these on the weekend, but I feel like I could just do them today. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, anyway. No, I think I was just going to work on stuff. I'll do a critique and paint over on the weekend, but not today. Not tonight. I gotta work on stuff. I have to work on things for this vampires. Oh, yeah, here's something else. So, like, before I go, I do want to plug Forrest Ishmael. Forrest Ishmael? I think that's his name. Yeah, Helix. I know exactly what you're talking about. So, good night, Helix. God dang it. Christ. Alright. I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to come back on and just draw with music. So, I'll be drawing a bunch of vampires. Vampire stuff. See you later. Thanks for joining in. Yes, I'm going to post this up, and then I'll be posting the videos for both of these on tomorrow on YouTube, but they're in the archives if you need to watch them. Anyway, thanks for joining me. You can catch this on catch this on YouTube, or catch this later on the stream. I'm going to get back on a bit and just play some music and draw some vampires. If you want to join me and sit in on that, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, go do something else. Just go do something else. Anyway, thanks again. That was so stupid. Anyway. Alright, I'm ending it. Oh, wait, no. I'm going to play some music first. Because I had to make this a production. We'll do a little outro music for everyone. Thanks for joining me. Find my work online, mciii.net, and search Primal Hero. Primal Hero. That's Forrest Ishmael's Kickstarter. And go support it. Throw a few bucks his way. Yeah, cool. Thanks for joining me again. I'll actually have a Kickstarter I'll be talking about on the next few ones for my own project. Anyway, cool. Talk to everyone later. Bye.